Hey there, thanks for checking out Rehearse. I'm super excited to have you here, and I greatly appreciate that you went on our website, checked it out, and now we have you here on the Rehearse dashboard. So, welcome. Let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Dev. I'm the CEO of Rehearse and the CEO of the parent company, Scriptify. And we build these tools, right? Rehearse and Scriptify, which is our dialer. So I'll tell you quickly what Rehearse is. On our website, you've probably seen it. We call ourselves the flight simulator for sales team, which is precisely, the description of what we do. What Rehearse does is it lets you simulate realistic, super realistic cold calls, discovery calls, or any other kind of outbound calls that you normally, do when you're, sales prospecting. And the main difference between any other tool, for example, Hyperbound and Rehearse, is that we let you practice on AI versions of your actual prospects. That's the main difference. What does that mean? That means that you can literally paste your prospect's LinkedIn profile right here, click call, and the tool behaves exactly like that prospect. So in the back end, we do a ton of research about the prospect, about the company. We're connected to a bunch of premium data vendors such as Crunchbase, etc. We're connected to news websites. We scrape all the details of the prospect, and within 10 seconds, create an AI replica of that prospect. So they're going to throw exactly the objections that their company, their role would allow them to throw. So that's Rehearse, right? And when you log in, you get 300 seconds, which is 5 minutes, and you can, make 2 or 3 calls to test the tool out. How would you do that? Well, take a LinkedIn profile, paste it here, click call. That's all you have to do. Just wait for 10, 20 seconds. It'll begin to talk, and then you can have a pretty good conversation, right? Now that's one of the aspects of Rehearse. And in the next video, which is going to be like a 20-minute long tutorial, I'm going to show you how to set up Rehearse for your team. Right? But I'm just going to quickly give you an overview of Rehearse. When you log in, the first thing that you see is the dashboard, right? You can paste anyone's LinkedIn profile, click call, and, have a blast. Now, to view the call logs, that means, at the end of the call, if you want to, listen to the call again, you can go to the call logs, and here you will see all your past calls. So if I click on any one of these, you'll be able to see the transcript, a little bit of the coaching where it tells you what you should have done better in the calls and, gives you some tips on how to improve. You'll be able to see scorecards. This you can set up later, in the next couple of videos, we're going to learn how to do this. Questions that were asked in the calls, objections, you can set this up. And also some stats like talk to listen ratio, that indicates how much you spoke versus how your prospects, how much your prospects spoke, filler words that you used, and a couple of other standard stats. And you can also analyze the calls in aggregate by going to the analytics section and seeing, what's the total number of calls that you made, what's the average call duration, what's the average stats that you're doing, like how you're performing, what's your set rate, right? Are you booking like at a 10% meeting book rate, etc., right? And lastly, the knowledge gaps that we'll talk a little bit more about in the next couple of videos, where you're able to see exactly the gaps in the knowledge of, let's say if you're running a team of reps, you'll be able to see, okay, this question was asked X number of times and it was evaluated or answered by the reps Y number of times. And what's the gap? Like, was it answered every single time, or like, is there a gap? And if there's a large gap, then you can go to the reps and coach them. Okay, look, all these, questions are fine. You're doing fine because the green line is the same as the yellow line, so that you're handling every time it occurs. But this one, it occurred like 100 times. You're only doing it like 30% of the time. So you need like help. So you can do that here. And we'll learn about more how to set this up, etc. later. But these things are set up in assessments. You can set up scorecards, questions, answers, and then you can build scenarios within Rehearse as well, where you can set up these call blitzes that's going to simulate a realistic auto dialer. So when I actually make these dials, it will just randomly connect me with a prospect, right? So I'm just going to end the call because I don't want to show that to you, but I just want to give you a very quick 5-minute, overview of all the things that you can do in Rehearse, all the possibilities. There's tons of things that you can do. And in the next videos, if you watch, I'll tell you how to create a call blitz. In the next video after that, we'll learn a little bit more about assessments and a little bit more about how to create these buyer bots. What are these? These look pretty cool. How to create like a single bot, scan people's profile. That looks pretty dope. Like I can paste someone's LinkedIn profile, from my list. I can go back and paste it and, clone it. Looks pretty sci-fi and dope. You can do a bunch of things here, customize it with a bunch of templates. So there's tons of things that you can do. I just want to get you excited about, the possibilities of Rehearse. And lastly, the pricing. I'll quickly talk about that. And in the last video, I'll also talk a little bit more details on the pricing. The pricing is very simple. You buy a team plan, starts at 5 hours, and you get unlimited seats. And everyone shares from the same 5 hours. So let's say John and Stephanie both dial, and John dials 2 hours, Stephanie dials 3 hours. It's all fine. It's all shared from the same pool of 5 hours. And you can have like 50 reps log in for $150 a month, as long as they have the total conversation length as 5 hours. It's fine. So that's the plan and pricing. Hopefully that's clear. And hopefully you're excited about the possibilities. So what's the next video on how to set up this call blitz, right? Because, you can of course make a bunch of cold calls, but how good are they when you're not doing it for the team, like for your product? So in the next video, I will teach you how to set up this call blitz and set up the calls such that they sound exactly how your actual calls sound like, how an actual auto dialer used in your company, how the calls and the objections and all those things sound like. So, excited for you to try out Rehearse. hopefully that gives you a very quick overview of the possibilities, the things that you can do, and gets you excited about Rehearse. So yeah, looking forward to have you use the tool, and I'll see you in the next video.